Inflation is raging across the globe and everything is becoming a lot more expensive for all of us. But we think we got some ideas for how we can improve that for our viewers. Not only that, we've had a number of comments from viewers over the last couple of weeks basically saying to us, are we scared of running out of money in retirement?
And that leads us to think that many of you may be questioning whether your early retirement dream is out of reach or whether you need to push it back a year or two. At the end, we'll share with you how this impacts us and also whether we have any special tools to help us combat those inflationary pressures.
There are a number of levers that we can all pull to improve our costs at a time like this. We've categorised these into 4. We think at least one of these everyone watching this video can achieve, but we think actually probably more than that.
And our favourite is one we do every day, and it's a real retirement game changer. But that's going to be the bonus at the end of the video. Let's get straight to it.
If you've been following our journey across Turkey, you will know we're making our way down the turquoise coast. And in last week's video in Fethiye, we shared what our biggest problem pre-retirement was. Since then, we've travelled down to Ola Deniz, where we watched paragliders taking off from a mountain. We took a cable car, we saw the Blue Lagoon, and we also saw those paragliders land on the beach. From there, we went along to the coastal town of Kalkan, a gorgeous little place. And now we are in another coastal town called Kaş. We're staying in a very, very cool hotel. And to be honest, it's probably a little bit too cool for us.
It is, and while we talk all things inflation, we're going to explore Kaş. It's a small place, but it's actually packed with some beautiful things.
Come on then, let's head down into town. So we're starting to stroll down into Kaş now. We appear to have got ourselves a guide, which we didn't exactly ask for. Sometimes I just feel like the Pied Piper. If you're new here, we are an early retired couple that sold everything we own to travel the world for the next 10 years.
And we share all our thoughts on everything, retirement, money and travel along the way.
Not this fella, I don't know who he is, but he just wanted to get on camera. What is it with people? They see a camera and they go, oh, I want to get on camera. No, this is it. We've got stuff to do.
We've broken our inflation busters into 4 categories, and we may just have an uncomfortable message to share with you later.
And remember, we've got that one game changer, something we use every day that in retirement can really change everything.
We have arrived at Kaş Old Town Harbour and it looks beautiful here in the morning sun. So to our first of those inflation busters, commerce.
Commerce sounds like a very complex, big word. But actually, break it down into buying and selling. And in a way, we feel like we're preaching to the choir a little bit on this one, because if you're watching our channel, you'll clearly know what you're doing with your money. But what we want you to do, first of all, is be frugal with your purchases. That is to say, don't rationalise. So, don't say, I'm going to go and buy a brand new car and rationalise it to yourself because you work hard. That's telling yourself rational lies. If you're rational, you actually deserve financial freedom, not a flashy car that you'll forget about the minute you park it on your drive. But we're going to continue walking around this harbour, and we've got a few other things in commerce we want to talk to you about.
Also, employ the 72-hour rule. This is something that we definitely adopted. And we don't actually know where it came from, but it's somebody in the fire community who came up with this, and it's brilliant. Don't just rush out and buy anything on Amazon. Don't just click the buy now button. Think about it, do your research, wait for 72 hours, and then do you still want that purchase? Has the endorphin passed and you don't want it anymore? Is that purchase going to be tangible for you?
Yes, exactly. And if you're thinking that we're telling you all this from our retirement ivory tower, that isn't the case. Everything we're telling you about today, we are doing ourselves too. And in fact, one of the beauties of doing this world travel is we can't just buy things online. It's nigh on impossible. In fact, yeah. It's impossible.
It's impossible.
We've tried so hard to buy from Amazon. Now Amazon are thinking that Neil and Sarah have fallen off the face of the earth. We haven't. We're here. We're in cash, we're having a lovely time. Hi Amazon, we will be back soon. Don't worry about that. In
Buying
fact,
things that we need and we've thought about.
yes, exactly. I think I saw an Amazon shop over here. We might check that out later. So there you have it, Amazon. But it's nice to have branched out into gelato and ice cream, but typical of Amazon, closed, always closed. But what's next, Sarah, on this whole commerce thing?
Sell your stuff that you don't need. Have a car boot sale or a garage sale and just get rid of that crap that you don't need and generate some cash. This will also really help you towards minimising for your retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the next thing is, why not realise the value in the things that you own? There's something known as the endowment effect, and that's a phenomenon where something you own, you simply put more value into it because you own it. But let me give you an example related to my own experience with my record collection. Do you have items which are stored somewhere, maybe in an attic or under your bed, that you love and you feel like you'd never part with, but you got it under your bed? Think about it. How many other people out there could take advantage of those things that you own? I sold my record collection, and do you know what? When I started to do that, I really started to enjoy the process, didn't I?
Yeah.
And what I would do with each record is I would enclose a note, and that note would tell people where I bought the record, what the record meant to me, and maybe even a funny story about it. Yeah, I know that's weird, but I am weird, aren't I?
And the last one in commerce. Are you living in a house that's too big for you, or is it poorly located? Can you cut down on your commuting costs? Can you potentially move to a different area? Could you buy a smaller house? Would you consider doing that?
Yeah, all good questions, but Sarah, I've just checked and it's a 17-minute walk to this marina in what's turning into being a bit of a hot day. So on the way there, we're also going to talk about probably the quickest of all of these categories, and that's subscriptions.
Yes.
So to that quick one of subscriptions. Do you need to have a Sky subscription in the UK or a Direct TV subscription in the US, and Disney and Netflix and Amazon Prime and that gym membership that you never use? We're going to be doing a video all about this and the true cost of that stuff in a future video. So if you're new here, now might be a great time to subscribe. But another thing, if you're not new here, a really clever thing to do now will be to get all those subscriptions out, have a good long hard look at them, decide which ones you don't need. Then when we do make that video and I say it's costing this, you can look at the TV all smug going, yeah, that's why I did it, exactly why I did it. If you want to be smug, check out your subscriptions and decide which ones you really use.
It's incredible, isn't it? The amount everything costs as well. When you add it all up together,
Yeah.
it really is a
Sarah, when we get into
shocker.
that video in the future,
Yeah.
it is shocking. And we've got a really interesting way to articulate that message. So do it, save yourself some money. This is inflation busting time, people. We've arrived at the marina. Very posh. Very posh. Keep your voice down. People in suits around here. It's after 12. It's
12
12:04.
past, isn't it?
12:04. So we've got a beer that we're going to have while
And we've
enjoying
ordered
our-
breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast and beer goes perfect. Right, this next one is all about experiences. And you've heard me and Sarah talk about this previously, that we want to cherish experiences over stuff. And it's really getting into what's important in life, isn't it?
Absolutely. Maybe think about going to restaurants less frequently. Those expensive dinners out, they soon mount up, and the more frequently you have something, the less valuable it becomes. So maybe book it once a month and really have that to look forward to. In the meantime, whatever that favourite dish is that you have in that restaurant, learn how to cook it. Cooking is a great way to share that experience together. We love doing that.
Yeah, another one would be take day trips instead of expensive holidays or travel out of season. Gotta tell you, there is no way Sarah and I would be able to afford to come to cash in the height of season. This time of year, everything's very affordable.
Think free. All those lovely parks that are by you, and get out into the countryside, enjoy some hiking, and also there's libraries where you can read books. What is there actually in your area that you can do for free?
Yeah, And listen, we're not going to compare ourselves to the Beatles. We know we're not as good as them. However, if you're interested in the Beatles, we made a video about some little known places that are Beatle hotspots in Liverpool. So maybe go and check that after you've seen this. But the thing about the Beatles, this is where we want you to listen to us and not them, because, and I quote, they once said, "The best things in life are free, but you can keep that for the birds and the bees. Now give me money. That's what I want. 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 Yeah, that's what I want."
You're not going to sing it?
I don't know how it goes. So, don't listen to the Beatles. Listen to us for once.
This category is the coolest, and it is stealth. How exciting does that sound, Neil? Neil, where have you gone?
Sarah, I'm being stealthy.
Oh.
Sarah, what is it I need to tell you about? Stealth. This is stealth. So, if you're used to driving places, what about walking or maybe cycling? Now, we've been to America and we know in America, talk of walking is considered nuts. But if you live in a city, then why not, instead of taking the metro, walk to work or maybe cycle? These are all things that you want to be considering because it's good for your health. And have you seen the price of fuel these days?
And we've all learned a new skill during COVID. I had to learn how to cut Neil's hair, which was quite challenging, I can tell you.
It was.
And I did my own nails. I still do my own nails occasionally on the road, but there wasn't any room for Neil's clippers. So what is it that you can now do yourself, which you would normally pay someone else to do?
Also, remember our grandparents spoke about make, do and mend. Now, being on the road, we're kind of being forced into doing that kind of stuff a lot more than we ever had to before. Also, now might be that perfect time to look at a side gig. All the kids are talking about it, so why not us? What side gig could you do?
Well, we told you there would be an uncomfortable message in this. And before we tell you about our most important inflation buster, we're going to tell you that uncomfortable message. Live intentionally.
Absolutely. Have a plan, have a budget, have objectives. If you have those things, then you can live an intentional life and not fritter money away. So, to our inflation buster, the one we've been talking about this whole video. It's called geo arbitrage, and we're going to do a whole video on this in the future. So if that sounds intriguing to you, now will be a fantastic time for you to subscribe. Now, we know when people worry about traveling the world, they're thinking we're burning through money. And that comes from the perspective of, there's that thing, isn't there, of I'm going to work hard through my life and then I'm going to do a world cruise, effectively to blow everything that you've just earned. That is not what travel is all about for us. We found that travel is far more cost effective than you would ever imagine. So why not subscribe today and find out what this geo arbitrage is all about. And if you've had any value at all out of today's video, now would be a good time to give us a thumbs up.
We'd love to know what ideas you have to beat these crazy inflation times. Let us know in the comments below, and we'd love to share all your experience and pass that on to others.
Yeah, and you've been watching To Go Rome. We really hope you've enjoyed this one. We'll see you next time. Come on, Sarah, we're going in. Come on, we're going in. We're going